right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. Plenty to dive into and discuss in today's video regarding some rosters potentially needing to be forced to change due to some unfortunate circumstances. Also, one of the team leaders over here for LANIMALS, big popular roster you guys know with Lunati and Alberlelli, has had a little bit of a change as well, and also some predictions and more so of chances and analytical data of how often or how likely these teams are to qualify coming up in this split 2 playoffs. Many things to dive into, so make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to stay up to date, all things Apex Legends esports related. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into this. So the first thing that I wanted to make mention of here, this was coming from a Reddit post, and I actually really appreciate all of the work that was put into this. It's good stuff. So how is everyone doing after day 4, right? We're finally over day 4. So next week, if you guys are not aware, every group has had 2 days of playing, right? So like week 1, we had group A play twice, and then week 2, group B played twice, and now this coming up week, group C, which is the same one with BBB and tripods and all of those, they're going to play twice as well this week. So plenty of games to still catch up on. Nothing is set in stone, but as of now, this was a really good graph that this guy put together, and it basically said, look at the LAN qualification chances of teams in the North American League and the EMEA scene as well. Basically said, I already explained how this works a bunch in this post, but essentially the same. I'm running a model of Pro League 100,000 times, and then look at how many times out of these teams or how many times out of these runs a team qualified. The result can be expressed as a percentage. Now I'm running the same model again, but start after day 4, and here are the results. So basically, if you look at this, these are the chances that each team has to qualify for the LAN after day 4. And I will kind of compare some of these to after day 2 and how it looked. So first off, I wanted to mention Dark Zero looking like a pretty much guarantee to qualify for LAN at this point, 99.5% chance. And then also FaZe, 99.4% chance. We know FaZe has been doing phenomenal, and so is XSET. I'm surprised XSET wasn't actually higher, but nonetheless, 99.1, still not low at all. NRG 98.0. Optic Gaming, after that phenomenal run that they had, this last week, 94.5%. 100 Thieves, 92%. So I would assume the blue is like very, very, very likely that you're going to make it. And then also the green is almost like, pretty likely that you're going to make it as well. You've got the Meat Riders, Glitch Energy at 72.3%, TSM at 63%. Now, here's the thing about TSM. After day 2, they were actually up at 77.8%. And you say, why in the world were they up that high? They've been playing horrible. Their numbers were terrible. Why is it that high? Well, it's more so of, like he said, he's ran through these like 100,000, it's 100,000 times of a model here for Pro League, and also some analytical data of these teams in the past. So it's not just, from the way I'm understanding, it's not just TSM and how they're performing so far. It's TSM and how they're performing so far, how they've been performing in Apex in general. Obviously, they just won Split 1 playoffs, so it's very likely that they're still, doing somewhat decent, I guess. But still, nonetheless, 63% of qualifying for this, the Split 1 or Split 2 playoffs as well. However, they did drop 14%. They were up at 77% here, and now they've dropped down 14.5%, 63. BBB still in the green. LG also looking pretty good. MLS, Sentinel's not looking so hot. Basically, this is like the, I guess it currently barely by the skin of their teeth will qualify. You've got Sentinels barely making it. Furia seem to be doing somewhat decent, but I think they're one of those teams that are going to have more play time coming up soon as well. But also, you've got a couple other these teams that are kind of low that I think a lot of people were not expecting. LANIMALS, CLG, Complexity, Oxygen as well. And then some of these teams, drug-free down here, like not looking good at all. Native not looking so good at all. And I think they should be getting an org change as well. Noxious not looking so good. Many other teams as well. And like I said, some of these have changed. Some of these have gone up. Some of these have gone down. But long story short, TSM obviously not looking as good as they should be. Many people would argue that they're a team that you would think would be up here in the blue, but they've just not really performed that well so far. But that leaves me to say LANIMALS down here obviously underperforming and under delivering what we had expectations of them for, and exactly that has changed. Now we're seeing some updates coming, as we're seeing that basically their former coach, their former like leader here and all of this stuff is no longer here. Stepping down from LANIMALS, Alex said earlier, I think this was last night. Yeah, earlier yesterday, about 3:30 p.m., he put this out, said basically, thank you guys so much for the opportunity. I've had so much of a pleasure to work with Lou, Naughty, and Alberlelli. He's even looked up to them at so many times throughout the his career in Apex Legends, and so many highlights he noted here. But basically saying that he is going to be exploring other options within the EMEA scene, and also says, I have nothing confirmed at this moment, but I would like to sincerely apologize to my teammates. They are some of the most talented people in the scene, and they will succeed. There's no doubt in my mind. And also, I would like to thank some other people as well. So there will be a little bit of a change there. But now the question is, who's going to replace him? We know that Mac, Lou, and Naughty, obviously on paper, are an insane roster. We know they have a lot of potential. Is what they're missing a good coach? That's the question of the hour, it seems, and who will be making this replacement very, very soon. Also, another pro player, Karma, you guys may know, in the Pro League as well. He has basically put out a post, kind of concerning and a little bit upset. But hello, guys. I've been MIA in the Apex scene for a little over a month now, dealing with medical condition called HHT. Has greatly impacted my physical health. More information on my situation can be found in the link below. Any support is appreciated. So unfortunately, this guy may have to step away a little bit from competing in Apex because of this condition. Unfortunate stuff to see, but obviously worth mentioning as well. And obviously, if you guys would like to contribute in any way, the GoFundMe is on his Twitter page as well. This guy is former Pro League player. I mean, he's got a lot of experience, a lot of talent, and definitely this guy is super good. Also, lastly, wanted to wrap the video up with TEQ. You guys know TEQ. He's been on many rosters. I think he's been coaching the Sentinels at one point. That roster fell through. He's coaching another team. That roster fell through. We did a little bit of an AMA, and I thought you guys might find his answers interesting about some popular topics. The legend meta in the game currently right now. Is it good or was it bad? TSM, what's been going on with them, and many other things as well. So the first thing that I wanted to make mention of here was basically TSM. Why is TSM struggling to adapt to this meta? What can they do differently, and what is Raven's role in all of this? And you guys obviously know TEQ. You're very familiar with TEQ. This was his interesting response. Great question. My opinion is they are struggling because of their comp. Catalyst is heavy anchor legend, and so is Seer. So you have a double anchor comp when Hal has traditionally never played that role. It's hard for Hal to co-frag with Evan without throwing position-wise on Cat. We tried Cat Seer Valk with Meat Lovers, but obviously, they were just so bad at Cat, and we just came up with a comp that suits our individual strengths and built game plans around that. Hal is an entry frag at heart, and he needs to be put on a legend that enables him. Definitely a very interesting thought process there. He also says that Raven often overlooks comfortability in legends, playstyles, and roles, and it takes a lot of effort to get someone to swap their playstyle significantly. So basically, it sounds like and I honestly, before I even read this, I was making the same assumption. Like, what's going on with TSM? This is not the normal TSM we're used to seeing. They finished North American Pro League in Split 1 in first place. They are not even close to doing that as of now, but they still have a lot of time, obviously. But it is worth mentioning that things are not looking as clear as it used to be. So what's going on? I did say that I think that the Catalyst Seer meta is good, but obviously it's not good for everyone. And that's kind of leading us into our next topic. Exactly what TEQ said. These guys all have individual strengths, and it's kind of at the point now where the meta is not so clear cut, right? It's not Gibby, Valk, and Seer. It's not, Wraith, Path, and Watson like it used to be in season 2. Like, it's very interesting. You can kind of do your own thing. Whatever fits you is really what's in the most meta. Now, obviously, there are times when, a team has the Catalyst Seer ultimate combo. It really feels like you die to it and you're thinking, okay, we've got to use this because, there's the only way to combat it is to do it yourself, really, at this point. So it's really interesting, but it is worth mentioning that that's exactly what I was thinking, which led us into our next question about the class systems. Did it make the game better? Did it make the game worse? TEQ says it makes the game better because it is less predictable now, which some might argue means more RNG, but I completely disagree. I think it just means that you have to learn how to play reactive and not off of a script. It's more exciting for viewers. It challenges pros' abilities to adapt and come up with new plays, comps, and play styles. I love it. Interesting conversation there as well, which kind of want to make me wrap it up with the whole idea of TSM once again. What can they do to bounce back? The North American favorite team not looking like the North American best team right now, but we know at heart they are. And I think he hit the nail on the head earlier. they've got a lot of comfortability. They've got a lot of things that they know are like right up their alley. And at the end of the day, just because they've got big brains and just because they know the meta of Catalyst and Seer is so good and so strong, it may not be in their best interest to play it if they are obviously comfortable with something else. And I'm interested to see if they will make any changes in the upcoming weeks regarding their legend composition. I think it needs to be made, but I think it will definitely come at somewhat of a cost because they're now a little bit behind in the game when it comes to points, when it comes to practice with these specific legend comps. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below about all the topics in today's video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys want to stay up to date all things Apex Legends esports related. And until the next time, I'll see you later, Gators.